Here's a decent one. I don't know if the battery died right as I caught this one, but I put a new battery in. I'll let this guy go. He's a decent one, but I'll catch bigger ones and let them get bigger because they get bigger here. There we go. I'm sure he'll take off like crazy. There it goes. Okay, welcome back to the Fishing Doctor's Adventures. We're out on the ice again. Early ice. This lake just froze recently and there isn't a whole lot of ice. There's about 2.5 to 3 inches, but it's clear and solid and hard. It has been above freezing the last 24 hours, so we do have some water on top, and I just checked the ice as I went slowly. The middle section and the other side of the lake is actually open water, and there's swans swimming on the other side of the lake. So you got to be really careful out here early ice, and take it slow, listen to the ice, and don't do something that you're not comfortable with. Make sure you're wearing your ice pick so you can pull yourself out if you do go through. Always important to have that early in the season. Now, I started out first thing in the morning in a shallow weed bed for these brook trout because they like being right over the shallow weeds, like 1 to 5 feet of water usually early in the morning. I had one come through, but he just kind of bumped my hook and took off. Really big brook trout. And so moving around to different areas, punched a whole bunch of holes, left the jaw jacker in when I was punching holes, and then I'm at a depth of like 8 feet where it's a transition between sand and the weeds and drops off into a little bit deeper water off a bit of a point right behind me. And right away, two come through in the middle of the day, 11 o'clock, and more aggressive and taking the hook. So I hope that means good things. I hope it means that we're gonna have good action here in a bit. Right now, I'm using, I know some guys don't always appreciate that I don't give gear talk on my channel, so let's do that right now. I'm using rods. One of my online buddies from Circle Tackle has these rods made. Super light tip, ultra light, flat tip. It's not like a circular blank. It's a flat tip and actually super sensitive. So, but it has a really rigid backbone, so it keeps the pressure on them really nicely, and you can really set into them hard and get a good hook set and stay pinned if you need to. And it's actually rigged with, I think, 4 or 6 pound test line. I like lighter lines because in the winter they don't coil as bad as thicker lines. And that's really what you don't want, is that coil in the line, because you're going to lose action and sensitivity with jigging and your feel when you're ice fishing. So a nice thin line will lay out nicely without any of that coil or memory. For a reel, this is just a 2000 series Shimano. It was actually left in the house when we bought it in British Columbia here. I greased it up and fixed it up, and it works great. It has a nice drag because it's a Shimano. This is an Alpha 29. This is an Alpha 27 by Circle Tackle. And here's the Shimano Sustain. Same thing, 4 pound test, fluorocarbon line. And these are tipped with the jig. This is by Certified Lucky Tackle here in BC. That's the Snacks jig. That's the one that the trout came into first thing in the morning and bumped it a few times but wouldn't take it. They were not in a good mood this morning for eating, so he came in right away to that one but wouldn't eat it. He bumped it a couple times, left it. I didn't have my bait either. I forgot the worms in the truck, so I had to walk all the way back to the truck to grab my bait, but it worked because I got those 2 fish, so I'm happy. Okay, so let's see if we can catch more fish. That's the gear review. Got the Markham's going. It's only 8 feet of water. It's super clear. I can see right through the ice. I can see the bottom. So I jig away watching the Markham, and when I see a fish come in, I look down the hole and then I just play them really gently, and you gotta just wiggle it slightly. They'll come in and they just grab that worm on the treble hook, and when it's in their mouth, then you gotta set the hook. The brook trout are really quick. They'll grab it and they'll spit it out, whereas rainbow trout will just come grab it and hold it. Brook trout will just come, like, slurp it for a second and then spit it out, but they usually will come back around and try to grab it again, and they'll do it several times. Whereas a rainbow might give you one or two good shots. Brook trouts will give you several. Okay, let's stay tuned. Let's see if we can catch some more fish. Check it out. First big ice brookie of the year. Oh, beautiful fish. Look at that pig. Oh, there's one. There's one. Maybe a rainbow. I got him. I got him. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm snagged on my reel. Oh boy. Oh, he's going everywhere. He's over there. He's over everywhere. Look at this rod. See this circle tackle rod? Look at that bend on that tip. But it's got, just keeps the tension on them, and it's got backbone there. So you don't have to pull them hard. Look at that. Rainbow trout. Yay. The guy was just asking me the other day, do Panask rainbow trout hit the spoon? Well, there you go. There's one on the spoon. They do. He can grow to get very large in this lake. Goodbye. You see, I was just in another spot. I hammered two right away, and then nothing was there. So I moved over 50 yards, dropped down, and within a matter of a few minutes, I caught that rainbow trout. So that's why I like drilling a whole bunch of holes scattered across an area early on, because then later, when the fish are kind of spread out and not as active, you can hop around in those holes that you've drilled and find those fish spaced out throughout the day. We had a little bit of help last night because it's snowed, so there's some slush on the ice. Breaks down the clarity, otherwise the fish spook quite easy in this shallow water, so you got to be really still, not talk or move too much when the fish come by, otherwise they'll spook. There we go. Finally, I played with this bow for so long down there, and I started just dropping it on the bottom, and he kept coming in, and every time I hit the bottom he would try to get it. So that seems to be a pretty decent technique. So when I caught that last rainbow trout, the card filled up right after I caught him. So I wanted to say, he kept coming through about 1.5 feet off bottom and would just swim right under the lure. So I started dropping it down to the bottom and mixing it up in the sand a little bit. He would come right around and put his nose right down into the sand and try to get it. He did that about 10 times, and finally he grabbed my spoon. So if you ever have a rainbow that's acting a little finicky, try pounding the bottom. And that works with a lot of kinds of fish. So perch. Oh, here's a fish. Here he is. Oh, I got him. That one just hit it halfway up and came and eat it. I brought the spoon away from him, and he inhaled it. Just like these 15-inch or so rainbows on the spoon, the Panasks. They love it too. It's really raining now. I don't know if this ice is gonna last. We only have like under 3 inches of ice. It's super clear and hard, but it's been warm all day and raining, so I don't know if it's gonna be safe tomorrow. I might have to go someplace higher elevation to catch those fish. I want to go after some brook trout again. I like catching brook trout early ice. It's always fun and super aggressive, and they're beautiful. Taste great too. If you want to take some home for dinner, they smoke up well and they're great baked and every which way. Wish I would have caught that big rainbow trout earlier. Man, I had about a 6-pounder down there. I didn't notice him when he came through the first time, and he picked my spoon up so I didn't feel it. I looked down the hole and saw his back going away and my spoon was gone. I set the hook, but he had already dropped it. He came back around and bumped it a couple times, but didn't take it. Just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving. That's how you find the fish. Okay, check this out. Card had filled up. Got a nice 18-inch rainbow here that I'm gonna keep. And because look, it's interesting. This one on the spoon again came in and hammered it. See, one of his eyes is damaged from previously. He's got a cataract in there and it looks a little bloody. But this side is good. That's all he needed to crush my spoon. So a beautiful Panask rainbow trout. We'll eat that one up. Beautiful fish. Look how much water's on the ice. Not good. It means our ice is disappearing. Disappearing ice. So we're coming upon what I like to call the bite time, that evening bite. People call it all sorts of things. Prime time, show time, go time. I call it bite time. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Just caught that one. And usually what I like to do is just keep hopping around. Just spend a few minutes in each hole. Don't wait around long. Seems like as soon as your spoon gets down there, lure, if there's fish in the area, they'll come around and smoke it. So don't waste time at the best time. I mean, some people do set up in a prime area if they're in a good area and fish keep coming through, then you just sit there and they just keep coming to you. But right now I'm spending a little bit of time hopping around and catching the odd one. Maybe once they really target in on the shallow water later, we'll set up in a hole and just wait for them. Well, there's a little brookie right there. Little brookie. He's gonna take it. Oh, he's gonna come back. He's coming. He's got it. I got him. Beautiful little brookies. Tiny brookie on the jig and jaw jacker. Get him back and set it back up. Jaw jacker's on. There's a nice fat brook trout on the circle tackle jig, tungsten jig, 7mm with a piece of worm. Yeah, nice brookie here, cleaning up at nighttime. They come through and start hitting.